Let's talk about leaving the matrix. First of all, before we get into conversation of talking about leaving the matrix, we need to establish what the matrix is, or what I believe the matrix is. So with this, we got to go back in time. When I was working a regular job, I used to go to work. Actually, I was quite the enterprising young man. I used to have 3 jobs at one point: a full-time job, a part-time job, and a PRN job. And because I had 2 jobs that were pretty consistent, I got 4 paychecks per month. I got 2 larger paychecks from my main job and 2 smaller paychecks from my part-time job. And more than likely, I would sometimes get paid from my 3rd job. And this, to me, is the framework of the matrix. You go to work, you get a regular paycheck, and you work a set amount of hours. So the first frame of the matrix is you have to get a job. Now, this isn't to say that all jobs are bad, but I did some research a few years ago, and the average job pays less than $45,000 per year. And 80% of America is in this average job situation. And having a job, getting 2 paychecks, and working really hard is not the way for you to escape the matrix, because in my mind, that's what the matrix is. Get a job, get 2 paychecks, work. And I hear this thing that people are going to get these jobs and work 30, 40 years. I think it's somewhat of a misnomer to think that people are going to work one job for 30 or 40 years. I think those days are long gone. I think those days have been gone since the 80s. So what you're going to do is go from job to job to job, but you're still within the matrix because you never leave the matrix, because the matrix is the beginning qualifier of the matrix is going ahead and getting a job that's going to pay you 2 times per month or pay you 24 times per year. And this is the thing with the matrix. It doesn't matter how hard you work in most jobs. There are some jobs, if you show initiative, you work really, really hard, you get promoted and you get an increase in pay. But there are many jobs, I feel that this is why the gig economy has become such a popular thing. With the gig economy, if you work harder, fulfill more gigs, you make more money. So you have a lot of people who do DoorDash full time. You have a lot of people who do Instacart full time. You have a lot of people who do these various gigs full time because they actually pay more money than having a regular job, which brings me to the escape mechanism. You want to start a business, you want to set up a holding company, an operating company. You want to get yourself some business credit. You want to learn how to run a business. You want to start your first online business. If you want to do that, and congratulations to you for being a person that wants more out of life, for being that person that's ready to sit down, do the work so your future can be brighter. I got something for you. Go below and enter into the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where we teach you all of that plus a lot more. Because you are not a normal, regular person. You want more out of life. You want to do more. You want to be more. You want to have more. And congratulations to you. So the link is below. Go ahead and check out this video. And then go ahead and enroll in the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where I teach you some things that you cannot Google. Can't Google it. Can't Google it at all. Number 1, let's say your name is Jody and your wife is named Jill. And Jody and Jill have 2 regular jobs. So they have 4 paychecks per month coming into the house. Then one day, Jody sitting next to Jill, and he says, "Hey, let's start a small business." And Jill's with it. So they start a small business. And then they start a business of removing junk from people's homes. And what they have to do, because, Joe, he knows people. So he goes to work, Jill goes to work, and they have established contractors. They've hired contractors to go to people's houses and to clean it. So when he's at work, he's kind of managing stuff and he's running dispatch. And the first year is kind of rocky. But then the second year, and they still have their jobs. They still have their 2 paychecks per month jobs. And they go ahead and they get the business up to the point where they actually hire a supervisor who does everything that Jay was doing. Okay. So now this small business in the second year, after expenses, after paying wages to everyone, it puts $50,000 in the pocket of J&J. Now, here's the thing. That $50,000 doesn't come as 2 paychecks per month. There are periods of times where they're getting paid every day of the week because they run this business 7 days a week. They pick up stuff. Weekends are very busy. And in year 3, they're at a crossroads because they're like, this business that they started is doing about $200,000 a year net profit, which means that it's making more money. And now they're in a position that's like, do I quit my job? Because see, this is the process where you get to leave the matrix. Because as long as you go to work, and once again, there are some jobs that are fantastic. There are some jobs that are amazing. But there are many jobs that just go here, do that, and it's just a boring routine. So for you to leave the matrix, for you to get out the matrix, for you to build and create, you must start a business. And let's go ahead and have this conversation. A business. There's a number of conversations online talking about a side hustle. And I really am not a fan of side hustle talk because at the bottom of this, and this is the thing that consistently arises once we start talking about side hustles, something that you can do part-time and make a full-time income. So we're looking for something that we do not have to spend a great time of energy, hours, or effort to yield a significant income. And there are some things that can do that, but typically starting a business, understanding what goes into a business, because like I said, J&J's business, it runs 7 days a week. So it's not some part-time side hustle. It's a full-time endeavor that they've contracted. They have crews, they have trucks, they have a manager. And this created the situation where they had $200,000 in positive cash flow on top of the job income. And this gave them the position to actually exit the matrix. Because I will say this, there are some jobs out there that are amazing. There are some jobs out there that are fantastic, but you're still in the matrix because as long as you're in that position of having a job and having to provide with those 2 paychecks, or if you're married, 4 paychecks, you're somewhat limited. You're somewhat stuck because when I go back, and I remember this, and I'm going to share a story with you. Years and years and years ago, I was working 3 jobs. I was working at Scottish Rite, I was working part-time at Northside, and I was working PRN at Cobb General. And I did that for 2 years. And having all of those jobs, the most money I made in 1 year was like $27,000-ish, $28,000. Working 7 days a week. Working 7 days a week and sometimes doing what's called a double, because I worked morning shift and then I would go to Cobb and work an evening shift. And that's the most money I made. I was working very hard. There was a period of 2 years that I did not call out. 2 years, 7 days a week, every day showing up to work. I only made like $28,000 combined. Now we're gonna flash forward to my time at Business Environments and when I first started my business. Now I would say I was working 40 plus 16, so that was 56. Let's say I was working 60 hours a week and I was still in the matrix. Then when I was at Business Environments, I had a 6-figure job and I started my own business. And guess what? I was working the same number of hours, but because I had a business, this enabled me to get way more paychecks. And I saw my life, and this is the period of time that my life completely changed. And this is where I came up with $250,000 a year is the breaking away point from being a normal person to starting to enter the realm of getting rich. And I had my full-time job, and this is one of the reasons I'll never tell you, quit your job, start your business. Keep your job and start a business. What does this look like? You will be working more. Your free time will be limited. This is what I call the do more principle, because Stick with me. You will be working more to have freedom and options in the future, because that's what happened to me. Because I worked at my small business that gave me the money to start multiple businesses. And that's the key to breaking away from the matrix, because I actually have a friend who has a business and a job, but his job is amazing. He makes a lot of money from his job and he makes a lot of money from his business. So I'm not saying if you have a job that you enjoy, that you find very satisfying, for you to quit your job. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you want to put yourself in a position where you're not impacted with the matrix. Let's go ahead and say you had a job, an amazing job that you loved, a job that paid you quite well, and you started a business. I would say keep both. Keep the business, keep the job, make more money. I would say keep both, because I'm not going to sit here. Everybody here in the world doesn't hate their job. Everyone, I have to go back to the jobs I had. I didn't hate my job. I wasn't miserable. I wasn't berated. I wasn't poorly treated. Actually, I was treated quite well. Having a job is not the rail of death. The rail of death is being stuck in that 2 paycheck cycle. That's the problem, because regardless how hard you work in the job, regardless of what you do in the job, you have this situation where you're not going to get any additional money. Thus, you're trapped in the matrix. And the only way to exit the matrix is to create a situation where you can get many paychecks. I remember when I was in the storage auction business, I never really thought about it while I was doing it, but let me go ahead and give you an ideal of how many paychecks I got in the storage auction business. Number one, we were selling on eBay. And typically what we used to do, because we found out the list on Sunday, we would list like 100, 200 items on a Sunday and have them all popped off. So those items would pop off and we would start getting PayPal payments. So we got paid on Sunday. Then we did Amazon stuff sold throughout the week. So let's say we got paid, not big paychecks, but we got paid consistently 7 days a week. So Sunday was 1 paycheck. Amazon was 7 paychecks. Craigslist, 5 to 7 paychecks. The upscale garage sale that was on Saturdays and sometimes Sunday, another paycheck. And this is in 1 week. This is 1 week. So we're looking at 1 eBay, 7 Amazon, 5 to 7, 1, 8, 13, 14 paychecks per week. 14 per week. And then once we got into other things and selling on Craigslist, that was an additional paycheck. Because this is one of the things that happened. The paychecks kept coming even when we did other stuff. Because we would never do something where it's like, hey, we got to stop doing this. No, we're just going to add this, and add this. So I was living a 14 to 15 paycheck per week lifestyle in the storage auction business. Hold on, it gets even better. When I left the storage auction business, my partner got sick, diagnosed with cancer. I came to YouTube. I created a blog, I created the YouTube channel, and I created the storage auction book. And once I got that rolling up, I was getting paid every day. I was getting paid literally 7 days a week. I was getting paychecks 31 times per month. And this is the power of starting a business. This is the power of setting up a holding company, getting multiple paychecks. And let me just share with you, in that last year of the great payday from the storage auction book, my daily paychecks, let's say daily paychecks, for $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 per day. So if you want to leave the matrix or leave the framework of the matrix, once again, you keep your job if you like it, but if you start a business on the side that creates additional and more paychecks, you set yourself up where you're no longer trapped by the matrix. Because that's the thing. There's not going to be a lot of, hey, you could do this side hustle and make a lot of money talk on this channel. Because most of the side hustle stuff that you see on the internet is to make the content creator quite rich, because they're talking about this side hustle and everyone's tuning in. And then when they go out and try to do the side hustle, they find out it's not as easy as they were led to believe. So We're not going to talk about side hustles. We're going to talk about establishing small businesses, establishing the proper setup for those small businesses, managers, employees, and management, and doing all of those things so that you can go ahead and create a profitable business, even though you have a job. So this is one of the things we're going to talk about. And this is how you leave the matrix, by going out, setting up a small business on the side that creates additional paychecks. All right, so if you want to really leave the matrix and have some guidance and some finer points, go below, get into the Corporate Citizen Playbook. The link is below. We teach you how to set up a holding company. We teach you how to set up an operating company. We teach you how to set up the process. We teach you how to set up online businesses. We teach you all of these things. And essentially, let me go ahead and share this with you. Setting up your business the proper way is invaluable because of the benefits and things that it will create for you in the future. So go below, check out what I have to say about the Corporate Citizen Playbox. You can enroll one and done, or you can get on a payment plan. Go ahead and check it out. This could literally change your life. My name is Glendon Cameron. I will see you guys in the next video.